there. My name is Julienne Ryan of J. Ryan Partners, Be Engaged at Work. As a speaker and coach and trainer who works with people to help them be much more productive and help their communications, I'm always looking for great people to help me solve some challenges. And this week, as you know, we've really experienced some interesting challenges in the workplace and coming together to work as a virtual work environment. Now, I have invited to speak with us today a good friend and colleague who is one of the foremost thought leaders on the virtual team environment. She's an author, she coaches, and I'd like you to welcome Yael Zofi, founder of AIM Strategies. Welcome.
Hi there, Jules. It's Yael Zofi, or YZ for short.
Terrific. So one of the first questions I had is just a quick take on your assessment of what we've all been experiencing, young and old, no matter where we are in life this week, about working and living virtually.
Well, what we've been experiencing is social distancing, and so now it's not 80–90% growth in virtual teams and remote work, and it's 100%. If we weren't doing it, we're all doing it. If you were partially doing it, you're fully doing it. Kids, adults, no age, no culture, we're all one world. So really the landscape has really evened out. We're all in the same boat. And that's pretty profound for some folks. Again, I've been dealing in the world of remote management and virtual teams for over 20 years. But there's definitely a wake-up call, and not just this week, but I think the coming months are going to fundamentally shift and change how we work, how we interact, and how we collaborate.
So let me stop you there for a second, because I'm always really, when I look for talent and I say find the best resources, I want to know what really informed their experience. So I'm always curious about their backstory and why they came to the work they're doing. So I'm going to pose the same question to you. Just a minute or two overview on why virtual teams and what drew you to that work, so our people listening to this have some context.
So for me, this goes back to about 1998, 1999, the Y2K era, if you remember those days. And I was, in those days, I left corporate America. I was at JP Morgan. I left to start consulting practice, AIM Strategies, this practice that I have now. And my early days were doing consulting training and coaching on leadership development, performance management, change management. And I was working with a very, very senior global director of technology for one of the biggest financial services banks in the world. And here's YZ walking to this guy's office. He had the large corner office. He had 10 flat screen TVs, and we're talking 1998, 1999, okay? Those things were costing a lot of money. He had all the technology in the world. He was the head of global technology enterprise. And the first thing he said to me was that he feels disconnected from his team. And I was saying to myself, like, this guy is so connected. How come he's disconnected? What's wrong with this picture? And so for the next 6 months, I really worked with him to create the human connection with his virtual team. At the time, he had teams of people working in all over the world, all different time zones, different cultures and languages, around the clock. Obviously Y2K, around the clock. And I really had to work with him very diligently to help him connect himself to the team and to connect team members to each other to be more successful.
Great, thank you. So today, because I know we're going to be connecting and talking about this topic and the different things that impact working virtually, but yep. Today, what's the big piece of advice people can take away from you today, what you think is worth listening and sharing at this stage as we go into week 2 of this situation?
I think the most important thing is work-life balance went out the window this past week or two. And so as we go into the next week, I highly recommend to really set up your space. It doesn't matter if it's a big mess like mine is right now. I've got a mix of everything, things before, things after, things going on right now. But set up a space that is going to be the space that you can, that's your workspace, that your mindset can focus on. This is work. When you get up from that space, if you can, a separate room with a door. If you can't, find a corner and put your computer, your bunch of papers and things that are yours. When you sit, when you're physically in that space, and put on your head, you know, whatever you need to do to connect via the way we're connecting via video, this is your space. Once you set up your space and get it organized, get your to-do list together, then designate your time. Your workday may have disappeared. There's no 9 to 5, there's no 9 to 6. Your workday might need to be around your children's day. I know that my workday right now, during daytime hours, I mostly try to do phone calls. I'm not doing writing or thinking work because at any point I can get interrupted, and so I do quick calls and all my coaching during the day, and then I designate some time at night to do my catch-up. So designate your time and set up your space so you have a place that you call work, even if it's not 100% work, but it's a place where you sit down and that's your area. That would be my one tip.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I think just sharing right now, we all have to manage to be a little more realistic, that it's not about being perfect or everything moving slowly, because there's so many movable parts and interruptions and unexpected.
Quickly and slowly at the same time. It's very interesting. You know, as a consultant and a coach, and you know, being in this field for so many years as yourself, you know, we're always participants and observers in our own historical moment. And to me, it's kind of, it feels like in some ways we've been stuck in a time bubble. You know, I can't really leave the house, and you know, we're cooking more, you know, spending more time talking to the kids, all kinds of stuff we didn't have time. And so it's a time bubble. On one hand, it kind of seems like everything moves slow. On the other hand, it seems like everything is super fast. So,
and thanks.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what is one topic you're going to offer us next?
I think it depends on what you and our audience are interested in. But I think next I would like to think about how you know, shape your team in this environment.
Okay, and team can be your family, your friends, or the workplace. You know, how you get everyone organized so we can all help each other get what we need. All right, and where can we find you if we need to find you and ask some questions? And
so Yael Zofi, it's Yael Zofi. You can look up on LinkedIn, is a good place. My virtual team's website full of blog posts and up-to-date information is yaelzofi.com, www.yaelzofi.com. Or through my company is the email, my direct email is Yael, Y-A-E-L, @aim-strategies.com. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm Julienne Ryan. You can reach me at Be Engaged at Work, at jryan@jryanpartners.com. And I too am on LinkedIn, as everyone, and Julienne Ryan. And thank you again, Yael. I'll be looking forward to our next conversation. Have your best day in your virtual world. Thanks.
You too. Take care. How many minutes was that?
It's at 4:05 right now.
Perfect. I think around 5 minutes.